Ebusan for aha Ghana TV GH, mesra like a comment, subscribing, never notification so turning on so that anytime you post a video, we will start making it. Ebusan for
actually had challenges with that, allegations that he was a corrupt leader. Now this administration has set up something they call oral, just to check some of the excesses of the previous administration, all targeted at dealing with corruption.
It seems it's going to sleep.
Oral has gone to sleep?
I think so. Because even with this CJ, the whole thing looks untidy. But amazing that we can go back to the legacy of Nkrumah. He was the first to take out or remove a Chief Justice when he wasn't happy with the outcome of the trial, the Korongugu, when he was bombed in Korongugu, and apparently there were CPP elements as well, Adama Fiu, Akwaji, I think the third person that I keep on forgetting his name. So Nkrumah was not happy with the verdict, so kicked out the CJ, brought another one, and then the verdict was overturned. So these are the things, and then I think we've had several of them after that. I think this CJ will be the fourth or fifth, I'm not too sure. But here's the point. So you see, because we failed to analyze, but you see, even at the time, the point is that Nkrumah, I understand, as I was saying earlier, he was building that all-powerful figure to dominate, rule, and take us to where we need to go. In today's Ghana, we don't have that. So the agenda of the NDC, that they don't like the CJ, they don't like the way she behaved, the way she talked, even her facial expression and so on, I think was neither here nor there. But the point is that, so what is it, the agenda they had? Is it because, like, let's say these corruption charges against MPP, people who were in power during the MPP regime who have corruption charges against them, does it mean they felt that, oh, if now they take this whole matter to court, then she will be an obstacle, so we need to remove her? So that maybe is linked to the oral and all this whole thing. But if it is so, then again, what happens to independence of the judiciary and then the arms of government to be independent? This
administration argues that she went through the process, the committee found her guilty as charged, and they let her go.
Fine, but those charges didn't seem to stick, not for me. They didn't look like serious charges to merit her removal. But you see, the point is that they did remove her because they had an agenda. And if it is that to deal with the corruption, she was an obstacle. But the point is that we have a constitution that I think the president has too much power. So this is something we need to now think about. Why is the presidency or the president has so much power in a multi-party system of democracy that we have? So we go back to history again. It was tailored to fit Rawlings. That transition was a very difficult one. Because Rawlings here was a brutal military head of state. People were scared of him, and those who dared to challenge they really faced the music. So now that transition was not easy. So they had to find a way of making that the constitution to fit him for his own survival. So I remember I voted against the 1992 in the referendum constitution, and my problem was with the indemnity clause. I didn't see how the indemnity clause should protect crimes made by people in the PNDC, leaders in the PNDC or whatever. I mean, if you commit a crime, you're supposed to face the consequences. But the indemnity clause protected them. I wasn't confident. But that was maybe one little bit, and then maybe I should have thought of the whole picture. But of course, majority of Ghanaians voted for the constitution. And why, when I talked to those leaders in opposition then, because I was then part of the movement for freedom and justice, a lot of them felt that, yeah, let's move on so that they lift the ban on political party activities, we form our parties and so on. So even to the extent of when some of us said, okay, so even now when there's this change and the ban is lifted, let's all of us who are in opposition to Rawlings and PNDC, let us form one political party. So it will not be about the UP and the CPP anymore of the past. It will be about contemporary politics. Those who liked what Rawlings was doing during the revolutionary era and those who did not like. So They didn't, and they went ahead and back to their old NDC and CPP and MPP, UP politics. And MPP then benefited, because what happened is that all those who didn't like Rawlings and the PNDC or were victim went to the MPP, because that was the strongest one that emerged. And if you also add the philosophy of the MPP, the UP tradition, I think it also suited the times too.
So you feel that our constitution should be amended to ensure that we take away the powers of the president?
Yeah. I mean, weaken it to a large extent. But you see, again, what are we? We've embraced the multi-party system of democracy. So we have to go by the rules of the multi-party system of democracy. We can't, as they say, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right?
Yeah, you can eat your cake and have it.
No, it's not.
Okay, that's the biggest concern for most people watching. Most young people do not believe in Ghana as a country. We're seeing mass exodus of a lot of individuals from different fields. The medical doctors are complaining, the nurses are complaining, people are leaving this country. How do you think we can fix that? How do we raise a group of young people who still believe in Ghana and Africa?
Yeah, so the only way to fix this is to create the opportunities here, so people are not tempted or interested in going outside. So if I can be in Ghana, even if I don't go to the university, even if I drop out of school, but there are factories I can work in. I can probably work in 1 or 2 factories, or there are a lot of supermarkets or shops like they have in the West where they employ so many people for different things. So once there's so many services, so many factories and so on, then people, why would I go to hustle to go to America or Europe when I can work here and earn that good living? So we have to create those things. So going back to Nkrumah, yes, he felt as a socialist state, the social direction, the state will build all these industries and so on. But we even abandoned them. So after the coup, there was no need. We could have continued with them. Because also, when you start, it can be perfect. It's a process. So you improve all the time. Because some of the critique against Nkrumah's factory and so on was that they were not really running at a loss and all that. But the point is that you start from somewhere and build on it. So you have a manufacturing base, creating all kinds of things. I mean, those days, even matches. We had a match factory that now we're importing. That doesn't make any sense. So instead of going forward, we are going backwards. So, and not to talk the meat factory in the north, the rubber factory in the west. So strategically, the glass factory here or there. So you see, that's how it would have developed. Unfortunately, if Nkrumah had stayed longer, we would have seen those things, the fruits of his labor. But unfortunately, he didn't. And we abandoned that, all that. And yeah, I mean, we could have gotten rid of Nkrumah, but at least continued with his development projects. We didn't have the wisdom to do that. So now we don't have. So yeah, how do you stop a young person from thinking that, oh, if I can have a better life elsewhere, why would I suffer here?
Let's talk about corruption, because this is of concern to me.
Yes, coming back to the 5 is Resource Geological Service Department more. Prioritize geological investigations. And almost about some cars on use AI. Open you. AI, geofencing, GPS tracking of excavators to locate and monitor small scale mining. We will share, I know, say, Jambomo also say, sir, manifesto rights and then my professor be willing to go so and so. Because AI bay no who's music. Geofencing. That's how go say
one of the things on my, I mean, tracking of these your friend is saying machines on the bay.
Machine send on my track. What is the data on it? What is the data on it? Machine bay, I'm track almost machine say omode nkofo dey galam say.
Debele 4 years. They've done
the airbag on my imo. And the woman's way.
No track it.
Now machine bay the register say the galam say. Nipa no register on go register the galam say.
So obana wo train krata and say me fan ko galam say na me de kwakọ ya kwan and am kwakọ yesi ya monitor dey There the amount.
No money ka Kwame so.
I said track abo.
Ebo Ghana Ghana to quit a excavator be a trackable.
Because you mayo.
Ghana excavator be a trackable.
Open me no more delay other ones.
And I'm just say the Asuma County. The eba na say the wa.
The one dey wa eba nyina.
Enti me come kuro mo domi a excavator be a be kona trackable ho.
Obenya.
Hey, you penny Suzuki more here asem. Na AI no so mo here say.
AI dey be hu.
Geofencing. And no ma kese kwa no mo chochoro manifesto nim. I mean, finally, repeal at least very significantly amend legislative instrument LI 2462. Almost on be repeal. And also, we cannot update ourselves. Say, has there been any repeal? And can also and also banning legal and new mining activities, blah blah blah. And also set up a new gold board. Of course, gold board no. One also on mandate so on best stop galam say niade. It's also part of their mandate. Some of this is best stop galam say. You see, I mean, that's why I'm saying that this is more academic than practical. No one more church training. As will be a outsourcing manifesto the Amobi and your more church. Because if you look at gold board, one more mandate, and in actual practice, what they are not fighting Galamsey. If there is anything at all, one rather deepening the Galamsey. Because right now, what the gold board has done is say, one more monopolize the purchasing of gold. But so say gold no munya na 70% if we.
Is it that they've streamlined it or they've monopolized?
No, they've monopolized it.
Now, how did they monopolize?
I like nice debates. Nice debates. Let's even agree with them. Let's even agree with them. Let's even agree with them that they've streamlined it. You know something that we call the Cobra effect. That in your attempt to solve a problem, you end up causing more problems. Also, streamline it. But in another way, the true word is also be a turn gold the other day. Amount.
Yes.
Obi ameton the gold man. Of course, I had to get it. The idea is somebody to consolidate all the gold reserves. No multimedia, your forex, a foreign exchange. No multimedia, ama akusin ye kakra. So they can stabilize the dollar against the cedi no money other. But is that what is happening? So gold board cancer say, ononkwan will be able to me so to me to gold by what we call streamlining, which in another way is monopoly. What essentially means they say, what essentially means they say, gold no. If I had the opportunity to sell directly to Obi or Nobel Tofra Bontain at a price, now obviously gold board will not want to lose because they also have administrative and normal also commitments, also expenses also more. Into gold no say a 10 gold board back also 29. Into this say minus 9. Now the minus then smuggles the gold. You know more so say now for unimbi. Yeah they are wo for munyan. Now the omo say they rather smuggle the gold. Don't talk about gold board view. To directly when you want farm a gold board they say crown say gold now here no you don't even get it or turn crown or turn illegally the state doesn't even get any say returns or dividends on it. The Cobra effect American gold board or moka ho assemblies rather may even create more problems than good. But what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that if you look at no more moka in their manifesto as a way or more they by addressing galamsey now share so far blue water guard any afforestation so could then to be fair to them you cannot give them more than 3% as one more performance in the fight against galamsey
under 8 to 9 months.
I mean context is very important under 8 to 9 months but assuming even without admitting say under 8 to 9 months so far even a year they supposed to perform 25% each year because they have a 4-year mandate. They're supposed to perform 25% each year because they have a 4-year mandate. If you look at it within the context of 25% in there, then 25% this year you may be giving them 1%. Because if you look at one more commitment to no more mature in their own manifesto, page 61 of our average format of their manifesto, 61, page 76 of the main manifesto, it's not something they've really done anything about it.